Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be with you today. We are going to discuss the four different people today that you need in your life as a Christian leader to help you along your way and how we can deal with some of the hiccups and the pains that have come with those people. I know it's going to be exciting. Let's go. Every Christian leader needs help. The journey of leadership is so tough, is full of ups and downs. Just leadership alone is a lot of work. How much more Christian leadership when truly no one owes you anything? It is my assumption, right, or it's my understanding that Christian leadership, especially in a nonprofit or in church, is the most difficult kind of leadership you can ever have. Because on your job, your boss has your paycheck over you, right? In a government or whatever setting, there's a contract waiting for you. But in church, even after we've done our job descriptions, right? Even after we've had an agreement, people truly do not owe the leadership anything. People don't have a paycheck they have to get. People don't have any burden except for their commitment to the vision and their conviction that this is where God wants them to be. So Christian leadership is difficult, but in church, it's even more difficult. But I believe that every Christian leader needs four people in their life, four important people that will help you along this journey. If you decide to go it by yourself, you're going to be in trouble. All right, going solo. I have a deep revelation from God. Bible says that there is nothing new under the sun. So I know you feel like your vision is like the most unique ever, but it is an improvement of somebody's. It is a revival of another. It may be new to your context and to you, but God has been in this kingdom business for a long time, and He's taken us from glory to glory. So, in as much as it is unique, it is very important that we work as a team. Even the very example of the body of Christ. It says, if the eye says, I'm no longer a part of the body, is it no longer really? Yeah, it is not. The eye needs the lungs need the legs need the fingers. Like it's all coordinated and we are one body. So today we are going to talk about the four people as a Christian leader that I believe you need in your life. The four people that are going to guide you, encourage you, build you up. And then we'll go further into discussing a few things that may be a little hiccup. My name is Dr. Moses, and today we're going to get right into it. So today, the first person I believe you need is a pastor. 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 I've heard many people talk about, well, I don't like church anymore, therefore, I don't trust church people, therefore, I just do church by myself. God Himself says that I will give you pastors after my own heart. Right? And He gave some to be pastors, apostles, prophets, for the equipping of the saints, for the work of ministry. So, in as much as you want to go solo, you are not able to go solo because you are part of the body of Christ. If you do that, you isolate yourself, and even though it may seem peaceful and safe, you are actually in danger of some other things that the enemy can do against you. So let's jump into this. Your pastor. Your pastor provides spiritual guidance, nurturing, and shepherding. Right? He's the guy that should be teaching you the word, encouraging you by the word of the Lord, by the scriptures, in prayer, in fasting, guiding you, right? When you have an issue, Pastor, pray with me, talk to me about it, guide me through it. Our pastors are there to shepherd us, are there to correct us in love and to build us up as we go forward. It is important. Bible says that do not forsake yourselves from gathering together as some are in the habit of doing. So there is an expectation that we are part of a group, we are part of a body where we are being led and we are being guided and we are being taught. As a Christian leader, no matter what your argument is about all of that, let's agree on one thing, that you need a pastor. You need somebody to speak into your life to deal with the spiritual issues that you deal with. Number two is a mentor. A mentor offers the advantage of their experience. And I'm going to talk later on about why this is important, because there's a difference between a mentor and a coach. Your pastor may be your mentor. Your pastor could be your coach, but it may not always be the same. But the mentor is imagine this. I want to learn electrical work. So I go find somebody who is doing well at that job, an electrician, and say, can you teach me and help me on electricals? And that's all they teach me. I may need plumbing, but that person is unable to help me with plumbing because their expertise is electrical work. Same with mentoring. Your mentor is not supposed to be everything to you. Your mentor is supposed to be your friend, your BFF, your confidant, your prayer warrior. None of that. Your mentor, when you go into a mentoring relationship, and this goes to speak to expectations. When you are entering into a mentoring relationship, it is important that you are there for what you are there for. We get in trouble when we expect our mentor to be our everything. And so think of it really, somebody who is good in business. You say, I want you to help me start a business. I want you to help me take my company from here to here. That's all they are there for. They are not there to teach you basketball. They are not there to go to your mother's birthday. They are there to help you take your business from one level to another. And that's all it is. If we can keep those expectations clear with mentoring, it will make it a lot easier for all of us, because the mentor is saved, the mentee is saved, expectations are clear, and there's no confusion. So the pastor is important for your spiritual journey. The mentor is important for whatever particular area of your life you need help with. I know some people talk about, mentoring beyond somebody being present, because you can be mentored through books, right? Audio books, videos, sermons, actual books, so that's also another form of mentoring. I believe in that. And I also believe in having that actual person who is able to speak to you, guide you, and talk to you, because, communication and personal relationships are also very important, right? So the pastor, very important. The mentor, very important. Then here comes the coach. The third person is the coach. Every Christian leader needs a coach. The coach offers you the advantage of a clear perspective, right? There are so many things you are doing as a Christian leader, especially as a pastor, assistant pastor, or a leader in the church, on your business. As a Christian leader, there's so much you are dealing with, there's so much you are processing, that the coach comes in to offer a clear perspective. Coaches are not an expert in your life. Unlike the mentor, who is an expert at what you need help with, the coach is an expert at drawing out of you the answers that God has already placed in you. So the coach, clear perspective, asking you the hard questions that you should be answering but are unwilling to answer. The coach brings in that perspective, those difficult questions, and gives you the opportunity to draw out of yourself bigger than you can. So the pastor for spiritual counsel and help, very important. The mentor for specific training and specific areas of growth, very important. Then the coach, very important for a clear perspective. And then here comes the father. The father offers you the advantage of family and inheritance. The father offers you the advantage of family, a sense of belonging, right? We are a communal people. We are people meant to be together in community and grow in community. And so when there's no father in your life, I'm not saying you can't do great things, but I believe that we need to be healed. Let God heal us and go beyond what maybe our natural father could not provide, and pray and seek that God will bring us somebody who is able to father us, able to provide a sense of family and a sense of inheritance. Very, very important, because that is the line of impartation, that is the line of inheriting. And I believe sincerely that it is important. It may be a sore topic for some people. I agree. I definitely understand. I definitely can. I can imagine the weight of the soreness of that topic. Nonetheless, the truth of having a father is very, very important. Now, remember I said that one person can be all four of this, right? Your pastor can be your mentor and your coach and your father. If that's what you got, good for you. If you don't have that, then you pray that now you are building a team of leaders, a team of people that are able to come around you to help you be fruitful and successful as a Christian leader. All right. So I hope you are able to at least mentally see that the pastor is there for spiritual things, right? Pastor is there for spiritual things. The mentor is there for specific training. The coach is there for perspective and taking big steps and moving things forward. And then the father is for family and inheritance. But what I began to say, I want to deal with just a little bit more. Many people have dealt with the betrayal from these four roles. And we need to go there. Because if we don't go there, we are going to be pretending, I'm good. I don't need a mentor. I don't need a coach. I don't need a father. I don't need a pastor in my life. And there you are aggressively moving forward with a car with three wheels. That's dangerous. It doesn't matter how adamant and aggressive you are. It does not replace the fact that you need four wheels to drive your car. Otherwise, you're a three-wheeler. And the balance and the shape is different. So the first one, coach. Let me begin with the least one that causes pain, because the coach, their role is actually not to even give you advice, right? Sometimes a coach will slide in their personal experience to help you gain perspective. But the power of a coach is to listen, ask the hard questions, give you perspective, challenge your thoughts, challenge your steps, help you develop a plan, and then hold you accountable to fulfill it. So pain from a coach is less often, right? Maybe you paid your coach and your coach said you didn't pay. That's the extent of the pain. But really, if your coach is actually being a good coach, they are really not involved in deciding your life. They are just effective at giving you perspective, opening your eyes, opening your heart to the right things so that you can draw out and do great things. Mentor pain is a real thing. I came to you to help me do this. Either you deceived me or you said you were available and you were not available. Many young people, and I went through some of it, where you are looking for somebody just to be there and to give you advice instead of you walking around, going through walls, trying to figure out where the door is, right? Going through research and 1,000 hours when somebody could have just told you budget. It will save your life, right? But we didn't get those things. So when there's pain in mentoring, it leads to the fear of asking for help, or it leads to the mistrust of people that can help. So somebody offers to help you, say, nope, I'm good. Because the last time I tried to involve somebody in helping me, they did not do right. So the pain of a mentor is where we try to go solo, right? I'm good. I'll figure it out. I'd rather figure it out and know I trust myself than involve somebody else and then they cause me pain. Be watchful and be mindful of that, right? Things can be healed. Things should be healed so that you are not moving forward with just aggression because you are hurt. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how fast you go. If you're going in the wrong direction, you're still wrong, right? It's not going to end up right. So the coach is the least. Then comes the mentor. Painful. Pastor. Whew. Pastor pain is real. I've been through pastor pain. I must admit, right, that sometimes what people call pain is just your pastor corrected you and you didn't like it. Your pastor said something that really shook you up or was pushing you in a direction that you didn't have. Or maybe you put too much confidence in the pastor instead of in God. And so when they became human, right, when their humanity came out, then now you're upset that they're human. And they are like, I never told you I was God, right? So I'm not defending a pastor being abusive, a pastor lying, a pastor not being faithful to what they are supposed to. No. High office, accountability, expectations are high, and those who fill that role must do it with integrity and must do it well. I'm just trying to help you here today. That make sure that your pastor pain is not because there was necessary change that you did not want to do. That's why you're upset. I want to help you that your pastor pain is not because you put so much confidence in them, you thought they were God, they could never be wrong, and when they were human, that hurt you. I'm trying to help you. Because people are going to disappoint you. Fact. People are going to disappoint you. People are going to people. People are going to make mistakes. People are not going to always do what you expect them to do. So high office as a pastor, yes, but many people have become, and this is the consequence of the pastor pain or pain in that relationship. You begin to not trust the church as an institution. Every church is bad. Every pastor you see, you give them the bombastic side eye, like, bro. Mm-hmm. Right? Pastor takes second offering, your heart skips a beat. Pastor said today we're going to talk about financial growth or financial commitment. Anything with money, your heart starts skipping because of your past experience. Pastor calls you and says, I need to talk to you. All of a sudden, you are afraid. All of a sudden, you are nervous because of your past. It is real. It is important that we heal this. And I'll do an episode on this, on how to overcome the pain of pastor. As a Christian leader, how to overcome the pain, because it is deep. I felt it myself, where I lost confidence. I didn't know who I was. I was just pressing through, still thinking and wondering, is God still able to use me because of what was done to me? Right? So that's real thing. It's real. I don't dismiss it at all, because I have been through it and I understand it. I can empathize with you, but still though, we can't stop, right? And so we got to deal with the pain. The church institution and Christian leadership is not all bad, right? It's not all bad. So we got to find the right place and then giddy up and move forward again. The last one is father. The pain that comes from a father's betrayal is serious, right? I went from the coach, that is the least, and I'm ending with father, which is the most. As a Christian leader, it is very important. Now, it is most difficult, right, when your spiritual father or authority was both spiritual and was also playing the role as a natural father, right? If your father was there, amazing. But if your father is not present in your life, you look to your pastor to kind of like, fill in the gap, and he was willing to, and he was doing some things. But then if there's betrayal, if there's any pain in that area, ooh, if there's any pain in that area, it's serious, because the consequence of that pain, the consequence of the pain of a coach is very minimal. The consequence of a mentor is just not trusting people to help. Of a pastor is a suspicion of church institution and leadership. But the father pain though, the father pain though, for real, the father pain though, that digs at the point of identity. The father pain deals at the point of, who am I? And too many Christian leaders are walking around either with a spiritual father hurt or a natural father hurt, trying to make it, trying to reproduce, trying to increase, trying to do big things without dealing with this particular issue. On this episode, I'm just really exposing the need for it and how these pains affect us. But on other episodes, I'll deal also with the father pain. Very important. I happen to have my natural father who was present. So it gave me a taste of what it means to have your father present. But nonetheless, I have very close relationships with people who did not have their father present, and they've talked about it, and I've seen it, the consequence of it. I'm going to say this plainly, just straight up plainly. You may argue and fight about, I don't need a father in my life. That's a lie. Straight up lie. That is a comforting, self-securing, wall-building safety that you have created for yourself in order to allow you to function. Temporarily, it will work. Temporarily, we will allow it. But I'm here to help you, right? CrissCross. We are at the point of intersection, right? This is a CrissCross Leadership Podcast. We are going to deal with the point of intersection. Should I go left or should I go right? And at this point, dealing with your father issues, very important. As a Christian leader, very important. Because it is important in church, it is important in organization, and if you don't deal with it, how are you going to pass on what is in you if you do not receive? You can't give what you don't have. We'll talk more about that later, okay? I believe that it's very, very important to deal with it. I believe it's very important to overcome that pain that comes with that. So we will definitely deal with that. But the pain is real. But there are a few good men. I promise you, there are a few good men. I promise you, there are still a few good men, a few good people out there that will fulfill the role of coach, pastor, mentor, and father to help you. So at the minimum, as a Christian leader, you need to have accountability to somebody. Did I say accountability? I know you don't want to hear it, but accountability. You cannot be a Lone Ranger. Even Lone Ranger had a friend named Tonto, right? You cannot be a Lone Ranger, especially Christian leader. You are part of a kingdom. You are part of an organization of people, an organism, a living thing. You are not on your own, right? You belong to a body. And so you have to be accountable. And when I say accountability, okay, it's not just somebody you just go talk to. That is a listener. Accountability, the way I put it plainly, is somebody who can turn out your lights. Somebody who can just tell you, sit down. And you will listen. Because many of you develop this accountability groups, that's my accountability partner. But then you are not concerned a bit if what you are doing does not agree with what you told your accountability partner. They are just there to fulfill a name. But if they cannot shut off your lights, if they cannot tell you to sit down and you will listen, they are not accountability partner. Accountability partner have been authorized. When I start doing what I said I wouldn't do, these are the consequences that must come out of it. Very important. Paul was there for Timothy. Elijah was there for Elisha. Moses was there for Joshua. Jesus was there for his disciples. It is very, very important that you have people in your life that you're accountable to. I have several that I connect with, that I'm vulnerable with, that I'm playing with, that I ask questions, that I ask direction, ask them to ask me the hard questions. Even when it comes to our church, right? I am accountable to our board of directors. And then above our board of directors, we have our executive council that I am ultimately accountable to, and obviously accountable to God, right? But here lies the problem, right? Where there is no, and you may not like this, people may not like this, but I got to say it, right? I say it. So, you cannot use God as your accountability partner. You can't. God is not your accountability partner. Okay? Listen, the Holy Spirit is with you. The Holy Spirit will convict you of sin, of righteousness and judgment. He will guide you in the way. Yes, that's God. Yes, but we need somebody in the natural that can come and take your keys, that can come and shut you down. Accountability, I believe, requires a human being. In the realm of spiritual things, God is always our accountability partner. But guess what? We use that as a defense for doing what we want to do. Right? For example, I come to you and I say, well, I know God told me to, sell the church and, give all the money to somebody or do something. And I'm not accountable to anybody. So I sell the church and, they're asking me, so where's the money? And I'm like, I don't have to answer to you. I only answer to God. No, bro, you can't do that. You cannot use God, because you know we cannot go to God and say, God, what did he do? And now God can definitely show by prophetic revelation, insight. I believe all of that. But you see how it's getting complex. God said, God didn't say, God said part of it. God said, "Okay, talk to me." God. No, you need an accountability partner that is human so that he can check you. I'm saying this to Christian leaders because we have all, or maybe not all, but some of us have been part of churches where the pastor was God. He had nobody that he was accountable to financially, spiritually, emotionally, sermons, whatever it is. He was not accountable to anybody. So every time he's challenged, he pulls up the card, I'm accountable to God. No, bro. No, no, no. You can't be spending church money. You can't be abusing relationships and then cap out with God. No, no, no. God will hold you accountable in judgment. He will hold us all accountable in judgment. But when it comes to organizations and Christian leadership, you need to be responsible and accountable to somebody in the natural. Okay? That's why I say, you know what? You can be independent and I read my Bible myself and I pray myself. Bro, it's for a season. It's for a season. After that, you need to be accountable to somebody who can tell you, well, that sounds like an interesting idea, but it's wrong. And this is why it's wrong. And so go back and think about it before we take that next step. You need somebody in person to check you. And I believe it is very, very important. So I'm going to end this with two quick stories. I was part of a church, and my pastor was young at church. Right, he was an older man, but he was young at church. He was part of an organization, but yet still not part of the organization. Right, so he was kind of independent, but had an affiliation. Let's put it that way. And he was young, but I looked back and I reflected on our organizational structure, if there was one. He had nobody he was accountable to. So he was making the final decisions. Now, that's the call of leadership, right? But if there's no one you are accountable to, then you bear the burden of God. Now, herein lies the problem. That's why I'm sharing this with you. Because he was new at pastoring, because he was new at doing this work, having nobody over him, he now had to commit to the people around him to be his guide. So people who are looking up to him for leadership were people that he was looking up to be accountable to. And so he began to rule and began to lead by majority decision. And you remember, this is a kingdom. It's the will of the king that we all submit to. But because he began to do it according to the will of the people, when the people were happy, church was good. When the people were not happy, church was not good. It was great until his inexperience showed up. And when people began to dominate and control and manipulate and cause issues, he didn't want to listen to them, but he had to listen to them, even though he didn't want to listen to them. He listened to them. And things did not go well. So he was young. He was younger in terms of ministry experience, but had he had a mentor, a coach, a pastor, a father over him, one of those four roles, if not all, would have spoken life into him and helped him make the right decision. My second example, part of another church, right? And this man is organized, on point. Had experience in leadership, had experience in doing the work, but guess what? He was not accountable to anyone because now pride has set in. He was too experienced. And because he was very much experienced, one time I asked him, so are we going to let the leaders know? He says, no, we don't ask opinion from the leaders. We tell them what to do. Ooh. So now he's in charge. So now he's the only one final decision. And when things were going wrong, people had nobody to say, hey, Can you please help? Can you please help? Because we are seeing this order here. I'm just encouraging you as a Christian leader, don't find yourself in a place where you cannot be accountable, where you are not accountable, where there's nobody overseeing you. Make sure either a coach, a mentor, a pastor, a father, somebody must be there overseeing you. Somebody must be there that you can be accountable to. These four people are very important, and I pray that you will find your four. And so I want to hear from you. I want you to list, the four that you have. If you have three of them, just say, I got three. If you have any questions about these roles, if you are dealing with the pain, or if you are trying to move on and need a coach to help you make a decision, I'm more than here to help you make those decisions and help you process it so that you can get to the next level. But it is very important. The four again: coach, mentor, pastor, father. Those are very, very important. And I pray that you get those people in your life. May the Lord lead you and guide you to have the right person or the right persons so that you can make effective strides in your Christian leadership. All right. My name is Dr. Mo. It's been a pleasure being with you today. And I encourage you. So let's go.